Guys, as you know, one of the biggest killers of angry military veterans is watching terrible self-defense advice. Every time I watch someone say something stupid, I feel years of my life just leaving my body. So you are going to watch in real time as I lose my crap over the Detroit Threat Management Center. That's right, the legendary, eminently roastable guy who's been basically reacted to by everyone else before me. I'm going to watch some of this hero's videos, and we are going to break down whether or not I think he is full of crap or not. Though again, I think it sounds like the jury is already in. Let's get into it. All right, this is, do you know how to defend yourself against a striker-fired weapon? So I don't know what a striker-fired weapon is. What I do know is that every firearm uses a firing pin to detonate the primer that, of course, ignites the powder in the cartridge and sends the bullet moving forward. Maybe that's what he means. There's literally a striking surface, or a surface that is struck, but it is not called a striker. It is called a firing pin. But let's see. Oh, I guess I should. There we go.
Detroit Urban Survival Training. I'm going to share with you right now what to do if a striker-fired weapon is pinning against your chest, against the wall, and a criminal is holding you at bay. And the reason why they're doing this is because this is how they search you for weapons, how they're going to take things from you, also how they're going to harm you physically, keep you from running or pulling out a weapon, is by getting close and pinning you to a wall or to a car.
I don't know if that's true. Putting the gun in someone's chest, maybe it happens. Most of the time what I've seen is people just want to show you they have a weapon and they will point it at you, but usually at your head. And again, usually they will be pointing it and they'll be demanding things. They won't want to search you themselves.
In this case, it's striker fired, so there's no hammer in the back. So the first thing
Okay, so it's hammerless. The word he's looking for is hammerless. And it doesn't mean that it's hammerless. The hammer is just integrated into the pistol.
we're going to do, since we can't move out of the way, we can't move offline, and if I were to try to move this, as soon as he saw my hand move, he's going to fire. So we have to make this weapon not fire. And to give an example, the human reaction time, when he sees me move, he's going to fire. So the reason why it didn't move, the slide didn't slide, is because I inhibited it by pushing it to the rear.
Guys, there is no chance that that will work. It's not going to work because it's not fast enough, and also it demands a level of precision that you don't have. Remember, when you watch these videos, this guy probably did dozens and dozens and dozens of takes to get that right, or he just told his partner to not pull the trigger, right? I mean, you can move. The way human motor skills work is you can move fast or you can move precisely. Extremely highly trained people can perform these very precise actions rapidly. You know, NBA level athletes, a Major League Baseball hitter, for example. But here's the thing. A baseball going 90 miles an hour is still not moving as fast as you need to stop this from happening, right? This motion is still going to give you a smaller window than hitting a 90 mile an hour fastball. And the best hitters in the world, the best, miss a third of the time. A third of the time they can't track that baseball. And here's the thing to remember. Every single firearm is different. The slide is going to have a slightly different location and feel. Whether or not it has a hammer, where your opponent, where the adversary or whatever, the aggressor is holding it relative to you, in order to move quickly and still grab it, slide the slide back, you're asking a level of precision that human beings just wouldn't be biologically capable of. This is terrible self-defense advice. Again, could you maybe, if you had hours and hours and hours of training in the exact firearm placed in the exact location, could you get your muscle memory up to the point where it was so fast that you could push the slide back before they could pull the trigger? maybe. I don't think even that's possible. Not certainly, I don't think it's possible reliably. It's not going to be possible when there's a million different tiny variables at work. Maybe the person's off to the side. Maybe the gun's off to the side. Real scenarios are not like this. They aren't exact clones of one another. They occur in weird, strange, different ways. Your best bet in these sort of situations, look, this person is threatening your life, and he just said they're robbing you of stuff. If they were going to shoot you, they would have done it at square one. They're taking your stuff. Some people still get shot in robberies if they comply. Absolutely happens. But your best bet is to, at that point, if you can't run, is to give them your stuff. It's stuff. Give them your credit cards, and then just give them your phone, and then just cancel it all. You can literally just delete your phone remotely with a call to your service provider, and you cancel all your cards, and they'll have you a new one in 2 days. And oh, you'll need to get your driver's license replaced. Like, okay, you can print out a temporary one online if you already have your number and your date of birth. Like, what do you carry in your person that you've got to try to ninja your way out of it? This is stupid. People need to learn. The best self-defense advice is make good decisions. One of the smartest, here's one of the smartest self-defense stories I've ever heard. Guy is in Philly, right? This is a sort of friend of a friend of my dad's. And so, take it with a grain of salt. But friend of my dad's, he's like, hey, I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I think he might have even been like an ex-cop. And he's in a bank, and armed robbers come in demanding money from the bank, right? And you know what this dude says? He just sits there and he watches. Just looks around, right? Robbers come in, bank teller gives them their money, robbers run out. He pulls out a phone, calls the cops. Cops show up. He says, hey, just so you guys know, I'm a concealed carry permit holder, right? My weapon's right here. And, the cops take it and check it, etc. And the cops are like, so you didn't think about shooting the guy? And he was like, I didn't see any person's life in danger. I saw a couple of people get some money and leave. That's what I saw, right? And the cops were like, yeah, you're right. The cops are like, hey, we caught him 3 blocks away. Nobody's hurt, right? If he had turned it into a gunfight in a bank, put himself in danger. So you always got to think, in a self-defense situation, risk and reward, man. What are you risking your life to defend?
From there, what we do is push the barrel back towards the aggressor, and now you have the weapon, and if you don't want to shoot, then you just pin them down to the ground using their finger and taking them under control.
Wow, that also some of that like jiu-jitsu stuff. I'm here to tell you, it is hard to hit those sort of jiu-jitsu joint locks. I've been in the sport for 15 years, and yeah, the jiu-jitsu like joint compliance, the pain compliance move, they don't really work. Remember, if someone is trying to rob you, they are also scared. They don't know if you have a gun, if you have friends with guns, if you're a cop, right? It's a terrifying event for them. They want your stuff, but they are going to be in the same heightened state that's going to mean that the adrenaline is going to keep them from feeling pain to the same degree as they typically do. And so that means that pain compliance self-defense, where you go, oh, I'll break your finger, I'll twist your finger. Chances are, if both parties have their adrenaline going, they're not even going to feel it. That's why most MMA fighters, right, report that they don't even really feel the hits when they're in the cage. They can perceive them. They can perceive that they've been hit hard, right? But that was my experience. Whenever I fought in the cage, I never felt a hit hurt. Like, you would feel the force of them, but the adrenaline kept it from ever feeling like pain, like show-stopping pain, Okay, so this is called child abduction prevention. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be good, guys. This is gonna be good. Okay, I just want to point this out. Let's just back up a couple of frames. You notice how he is using the biohazard symbol on the side of his van. Listen, when you see that symbol, those warning signs, they are distinctive for a reason, and that is to tell anyone, even someone who doesn't speak your language, that in that container, or in this case, truck, is biohazardous materials. So when you use it for your zombie containment vehicle or whatever, you are sending the wrong message, unless maybe your zombie containment vehicle literally contains zombies, right? You are saying them that there is a hazardous substance. So let's say you were to arrive on the scene, or you were to get into some sort of even just a regular vehicle accident, and fire and EMS shows up. They're going to see that biohazard symbol, and they are going to treat it like a chemical spill, which means they're going to stop, they're going to secure the area, they're going to try to find out who was shipping hazardous materials and why they're in this unregulated van, and you're going to just create this total chaos, and you're going to prevent fire and EMS from actually doing their rescue operations. So right there, it tells me that the level of common sense that's being implemented by this organization is pretty low.
Let's go. Back up.
All right, so the way that worked.
Okay. What on earth? Why did that dude just grab a hand? Listen. Okay, let's start with square one. Child abduction doesn't happen like that, right? It happens, but the child predators look for children who are vulnerable, whose adults are not with them. They're children playing in yards and you know, somewhere where their parents aren't holding their hand, right? So this is sort of preparing for like a fantasy or like a commercial scenario. It's the equivalent of taking lesson. That is the child abduction equivalent of worrying about being attacked by ninjas. Like, okay, sure, yeah, you could prepare for an effective way to defend against a ninja attack, but the chances of a child predator trying to like abduct a child as you are holding their hand, as that child is holding their parent's hand, is as likely as being attacked by a ninja. As we saw from Bounty Hunter Guy, in a country as big as the United States, statistically, someone got attacked by a ninja at least once this year. But to actually take the time to prepare for a one in a gazillion event is silly. If you think that's going to happen, you should buy a lottery ticket. Now, real child abduction is the vast majority happens. Almost all of them are spousal child abductions. These are custody agreements where one parent doesn't turn over in accordance to the agreement, and when they reach a certain level of like delinquency, then it becomes a case of the child is abducted. The child is with someone where who's not legally allowed to have that child. So that is the overwhelming number of child abductions. The next vastly smaller set is children who are either isolated, right, from an adult, like who are not around adults, or they're older children who are coerced or groomed to, like, I don't want to say participate, that's not quite the right word, but are manipulated into sort of facilitating their own abduction, I guess is the right word. Usually in the case, it's teenagers in trafficking type situations. That is vastly more likely. Again, they meet someone, they believe that this person's maybe a romantic partner, or they believe this person's someone they aren't, and they meet this person, and then they believe they're like running away with a romantic partner, but they're actually have been abducted for trafficking, and they only find out once they realize they can't leave. So that is something you're much more likely to see, is manipulation, like abduction through manipulation. But this sort of thing is cosplay, man. This is fantasies. This is how you would fight, how Naruto should fight those ninjas or whatever. This is anime. Let's just watch him anime this.
When the man grabbed the child's arm, the mother pushed here on the thumb, causing the thumb to let go. This would help if someone tries to grab your child against.
Pushing on the thumb here causes the thumb to let go. I don't think that's even remotely true, guys. We've talked about this. The pressure point thing doesn't really work. Also, what happens if they get literally any other grip? And these precision, again, we've talked about this earlier. The precision manipulation is extremely hard. It just isn't really possible. I don't know anyone. Again, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 10 years. I have 9 MMA fights. I don't know anybody that can deliver precision strikes against a moving, dynamic target in a serious situation that can strike to the size of a what is that? This area is maybe the size of like a nickel. You're asking something totally unfeasible. And also, again, if you grab a kid and you're a grown man, especially that dude who was probably like a 250-pound man, you're going to grab that kid with a hard pole. That kid is going to be out of reach in a heartbeat. And yeah, so no facet of this is realistic. This is like feel good. This is just stuff to make you feel empowered when you're not.
Your will, you're able to break the hold so you can get your child free from an aggressor that tries to abduct your child.
If that were true, if this were the magic break your grip button, then why doesn't every UFC fighter use it? Right? The gloves don't protect this part of the thumb, right? Yeah, the gloves are open, and boy, they could have done it against Khabib. But Khabib, man, nobody ever thought to go after Khabib's thumb. Stupid. All right, we got one more roast. Keychain self-defense. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, yes, self-defense keychains. Let's watch this. Let's watch this idiot fest.
Share with you how you.
What? Please stop. Man, am I gonna have to edit this?
This keychain that we sell to defend your life in a very simple way. So, in the event they grab you, you can take the point of it right here to the bones of the hand. Very painful.
Yeah, pain compliance. We've discussed this. If you are so hyped up that you're going to attack someone, you don't want to rely on pain compliance. You would want to actively try to hurt them. Also, that isn't any sharper than a key. Just a key that's already on your keychain. But again, pain compliance is not a self-defense tactic.
You can take the point of it and go here to the arm. Very painful.
Ah, yes. Delivering precision blows to the elbows. Once again, clearly, if you could stagger an opponent whose elbow is outstretched like that, the UFC fighters have clearly just been missing out. And also, who does that? Who staggers their entire stance because somebody pushes on their elbow? Like, it's mildly annoying. You shake your elbow.
You can also use the blunt side here on the hand as well. It's very painful.
Show that one again.
Right here.
Again, why do we think pain compliance works? I think... Okay. If you've ever been around... Right, we've talked about this in MMA. The adrenaline rush, you just don't feel it. And one of the things that we're actually trained to do as soldiers, right? The adrenaline is so powerful in a life or death situation, even if you're the aggressor, is that we are trained after a firefight to physically, hands-on check each other soldiers, to make sure we haven't been shot and haven't noticed. That's how powerful adrenaline is when you are in a serious, actual, honest fight, right? You can get shot and you will not experience any pain compliance. It's something human beings are hardwired to do biologically. So relying on pain compliance for self-defense is so stupid.
Very painful. If the person's walking in your space, you can actually take the front of it, go right into the chest, back them off using the point or the blunt side. Take your hand here.
Again, like, he's not doing anything. Okay, so what he seems to be trying to channel, there is ways to assess the consciousness of a victim who's experiencing a medical emergency and has lost consciousness. And there's ways that you can see if they respond to different levels of stimulus. So one might be saying your name, right? So if they don't say their name. Another one might be a pupil dilation response. Shine a light in their pupil and see if their eyes can track you, if they're open. But one of the things that they use to check consciousness is response to pain, right? And the two ways they can check that, this is what seems to be what this dude believes he's discovered in martial arts, is that you go somewhere where you can relatively easily cause enough pain that a person who's of limited consciousness is going to like stir if their brain will let them. And that's pinching between the finger and thumb and rubbing hard on their sternum, just because the amount of skin between the bones is really thin. That seems to be what he thinks is going to get aggressors to comply, but it's not. These are just tricks that can easily and quickly generate enough pain that you can just check if someone's conscious or not.
And
this is like physically painful for me to watch. Also, look, this dude got stabbed in the zipper.
press it right on the nose. If they grab you, bear hug, you can actually take it. You don't have to use the point. You can actually use the side of it. Go right here at the top.
Okay. Holy smokes, guys. The yell and the abrupt collapse. Man, this is hard to watch. You can tell these people, these dummies, these training dummies, are just faking compliance with this dude.
And it will back them off of you. If they're giving your family or friends a hard time and aggressing on them, you take your keychain, go right here to the shoulder, pull down.
What? This is not, again, this is something where, I mean, imagine if this worked. Like pulling down on the shoulder, like, yeah, it's a little painful. Again, if it really worked, someone in the UFC would use it.
This device can help protect you and your family.
This dude is selling a fraudulent self-defense trinket. A trinket, protect you and your family. This is what irks me about these kind of people, is that they use legitimate fears people have about their safety and use those fears to drive sales for their product. And that is what irritates me. I am certain this dude has a self-defense course, self-defense services. He obviously has this stupid, useless gadget. All of these things are just, they're just gimmicks. They're just gimmicks, and they're manipulative, right? I'm here to tell you, you know how to keep yourself safe? Stay in places where you're not vulnerable. Be around other people. Be around other people. Keep your valuables hidden. Don't look like a target. And like, apply common sense. Most of what you need to know about self-defense is just common sense. And here's the other sad reality is there's no one is going to offer you a foolproof technique. There is no foolproof technique. There is no chance. I could literally make this video, post it, walk outside, and get killed in a robbery. Because the world is a chaotic place, and it's really uncomfortable to like confront that reality. But people like this idiot use human beings' natural anxiety about living in a chaotic and sometimes dangerous world and use it to sell their snake oil. And that's what this dude's doing. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. I don't know, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you want to see more of this breakdowns of idiots. And I'll see you in the next one.